2H2O, which is water, it decomposes into hydrogen and oxygen. The question now, how many grams of oxygen is produced when 3 moles of water is decomposed? Good. What is the question now about? Is the mass, the question is about the mass of oxygen. The mass of what? Of oxygen. Good. And they gave me the molar mass of oxygen. Good. Here now, as you see in the equation, they tell us that 2 moles, this number it represents 2 moles of water. It gives me 2 moles of hydrogen and 1 mole of oxygen. Good. But the question now is talking about 3 moles of water, not 2 moles. So that means the equation is 2 moles and the question is about 3 moles. So that means we need to change now the equation to be 3 moles, like the question. Okay, how we change this 2 to be 3? How can you change this 2 to be what? To be 3. This 2 to change it, which is the number of moles of water, we can change it to be 3 in both ways. Either you divide the whole equation by 2 first, then you multiply by 3, or you multiply the whole equation by 1.5 directly, by 1.5 what directly. Okay, if we divide here by 2, and here is by 2, and here is by 2, and we know we have that we divide the whole chemical equation by any number we want, as long as we are dividing just the left side. So when you divide here by 2, what will we get? What will we get? We divide by 2 here, we'll get exactly H2O. As you see, H2O, it decomposes into here, divide by 2, you get H2, and here it's gonna be, here it means 1 over 2, it's gonna be what? Half what? O2. Good. So this is now the equation. But what's my goal again? My goal again is to have 3 moles of this one, like here the question 3 moles. So I multiply here by 3 and multiply now this equation by what? By 3. When I multiply by 3, what will I get? I'll get 3H2O. It gives me here 3H2, and here this half you multiply it by 3, also it's gonna give me 1.5 O what? O2. Good. In this case now, what did I find? What did I find this process? Just what I did is I changed the coefficient number, which is number of moles of each part, and based on the reactants, which is 3 moles of water. Now, as you see, this equation now, it becomes like the question. Now the question now, how many grams of oxygen produced when 3 moles of water is decomposed? Okay, now I have, as you see, 3 moles of water decomposed. Good. When these 3 moles now of water decomposed, how many moles of oxygen it gave us? How many moles? It gave us 1.5 mole of oxygen. Okay, this one now 1.5 mole. Can you change 1.5 mole of oxygen? Can change it into mass? Good. 1.5 mole of oxygen, and I get here just the molar mass. I get here what? Just the mass, because now we have, if you remember, number of moles, it equals mass over what? Over what? Over molar mass. Over what? Molar mass. Okay, now, and this, from this equation, what is the mass? The mass equals number of moles times what? Times molar mass. Times molar what? Mass. Good. So here now, number of moles. Now our goal now is to find the mass of oxygen. Okay, do we have number of moles of oxygen? Yes, we found it here. It is 1.5. As you see here, we found it is 1.5. Okay, so that means this one is 1.5. Good. 1.5 times molar mass. What is the molar mass of oxygen? Okay, oxygen, when you deal with it like O2 here, its molar mass is, so here what is given, the molar mass is 16 for oxygen. It means the molar mass here, 16 for the atom of oxygen, not the molecule of oxygen. So that means now, as a molecule, since we deal with it as a molecule in the equation, so O2, we're going to multiply it 16 times 2 because we have 2 atoms in the molecule. So that means it will give us what? It will give us 32. So that means the molar mass of oxygen molecule is 32. While what is given the question, usually when they give us molar mass in the questions, they give us the molar mass of an atom. of one atom of oxygen. So since we deal with it like molecules in the equation, we change it into molar mass of the molecule, which is 32. Now, if we go back to the question here, now the mass will equal what? 1.5 times molar mass, which is what? Which is 32. If you multiply now, just 1.5 times 32, you will get now 1.5 times 32. When you multiply it, it means 1 times 32 and half times 32. 1 times 32 is 32 plus half times 32, which is what? 16. So in this case, you're going to find that it is what? 48 is the mass of this, of what? Of oxygen. So you're going to choose here 48 as the answer.